Hello everybody and welcome back to the garden. It's weekend again, thanks God for the weekends, so we can do some gardening. Let's go. Finally, I'm gonna have some free time of work. I'm not going on holiday anywhere. If I saw one of the previous videos, I brought the holiday to myself, so I am enjoying the garden for a week now. In today's video, I think we're gonna do a bit of harvesting. I think the French beans are ready to pick, at least some of them. Some general maintenance. I need to do plenty weeding. Haven't had much time to do weeding and the garden is in a stage. And I think I'm gonna continue with my hedge trimming. So let's see what we can do. Here at the wildlife pond area, I think we can harvest some rhubarb. There's plenty of it to be harvested. It's been a very dry spring and early summer, but looks like the plants are coping still. Those are the beans I was thinking about. I could probably give them a few more days, but I'm gonna harvest at least some of them for lunch. If that cockerel over there ever gonna give me any time. Those are the French beans I was thinking about. They could still have a few more days, maybe a week to ripen fully, but I can pick some for lunch today. So we're gonna harvest the beans, some rhubarb. The coco de pampol beans are nowhere near ready. Still waiting for the pods, but they are flowering. But those are grown for the seeds themselves, so it's gonna be end of summer, the harvest. And I think we can find some outdoor gherkins somewhere. Not much yet, they are just starting. And there's one here, two over there. So I'll have a quick look, maybe we'll get some gherkins as well and I can start my fermenting. So yeah, that's the plan for today. Some harvesting, the hedge trimming. The hedge looks horrible. I simply don't have enough time to trim it properly. As you can see, it's all sticking out every each way. But hopefully we can make some progress on it today. And what else I can do today? There's plenty of weeding to be done. As I was saying, I didn't have much time last couple of weeks, but now I have a week off, so I can catch up with my gardening. So let's go, we'll see what we can do. Okay, I have my beans to harvest, got a bowl. Those weedy things at the end here, those are my radishes, which I'm leaving to produce some seeds. They are quite good for the pollinators. You can see the insects hovering all around them, but later on in the season I'm gonna collect some seeds from them. This wheat, it's like chameleon, depends where it grows. It gets exact shade of the plant that is growing next to it. Really hard to spot sometimes. But yeah, let's pick some French beans. I don't quite remember when I saw the seeds. I'm gonna put it on the screen somewhere, the date, but it didn't take that long. Maybe 2 months, if I'm not mistaken, from seed to harvest. I'll try to find a variety of that bean as well. They came from Real Seeds online store. Those are yellow French bush beans. They are really tasty and quite prolific. I can see there's still plenty of flowers and tiny fruits. Actually, let me get you closer so you can see better. As you can probably see now better, there's plenty of flowers on the plant and tiny fruits forming. So they're gonna give me fruit for quite a while still. But in between them, you can find ready beans. I like to pick them this kind of size, no bigger than that. but I think they are stringless beans anyway, even if you leave them for much longer, but that's the size I like. So let me go through that patch and try to find all the beans. So that's the quick harvest of the yellow French beans. The main benefit, for me at least, of growing yellow French beans instead of green beans is just the ease of finding them in between the foliage. They stand out quite nicely. It's not much, it's a first harvest. There's going to be plenty more to come, but I think that's plenty enough for lunch. So now let's try to find some gherkins. So let's have a rummage around in the cucumber patch. I can see a couple of them. If I find enough, I'm gonna show you also how I ferment my cucumbers, gherkins. But first let me show you the size I like to pick them. I think this is the perfect size for pickling and fermenting. You can use any size really, but I like the smaller one. So that's what I'm looking for. Let's have a look how many of them I'll find. There is plenty of flowers and tiny fruits forming. So like with the French beans, that's the first time I'm picking them. There will be much more to come still. The other week I did resow some more of gherkins in one of the beds. They are germinating now, but they're gonna give me harvest much later, in about a month I would guess. I think that's all I'm gonna get from that patch. Not sure if the camera is picking it up. I have some dill growing in between the cucumbers. It's a perfect spot for it. Dill perfect for pickling, cucumbers perfect for pickling, so that couldn't be a better place. So this is definitely not enough for pickling, but let's have a look in the greenhouse and we'll see if we can top it up with the cucumbers that are growing in the greenhouse. Let's go. So as you can see, the greenhouse is turning into a jungle, as it does every single year. But let me show you the gherkins. They are doing really fantastic in a self-watering pot on my floating shelves. So let's have a quick look what we can find here. So here we have our pots on the floating shelf and the cucumbers hanging down. And I started training them up again so they don't strangle my sweet peppers that are growing under the cucumbers. I've been picking them for quite a while now for salad and sandwiches. There's a couple of them each day. They're growing faster than I can eat them. So let's do some pickling out of them. Like this one here, I think it's slightly too big for pickling. That's gonna go for salad and sandwiches. Also, when they are hanging like that, they are quite easy to spot. Also, while we are here, I just wanted to show you, I left a couple of the cucumbers early on to fully ripen. So they're gonna be all for the seed saving later on. I think I have 3 like that, but that's for much later. But now let me just continue harvesting and I'll see you back in a sec and show you what I got. And with the help from the greenhouse, I think I have plenty enough cucumbers to start my fermenting. Let me just quickly show you. Some of them are slightly too big for fermentation. I could make some salad or some other type of pickle with them, but they're most likely gonna go on sandwiches and stuff. And at the bottom of the bowl I have my French beans that's gonna be steamed, ready for my lunch. So I think that's not bad for a quick Sunday harvest. I have my lunch sorted out and I'm gonna make some fermented cucumbers later on. I'll show you that at the end of that video. So now I think I can have a break, have some food, drink some coffee, and I'll come back and we'll meet in the garden to do some most likely weeding and maybe hedge trimming. I'll be back in a sec. So that was a nice lunch. It's almost 1 o'clock already. So let me tackle the hedges now. I think it's a bit overcast, not much sun today, which is good because it's a dusty and sweaty job. There's not much to explain about hedges really. I'm going to be using my hedge trimmer and just try to cut everything that sticks out from the hedge itself. Maybe I'm just going to set up a time lapse of me cutting the hedge. So yeah, I'm going to do that now. Well, that hedging took a while, but it was worth doing. Everything looks much more neater and more spacious. Let me show you from the beginning. So at least the hedges are done now. It took a while. I need to use a ladder to reach all the top section of the hedge, but at least it's all done finally. It took weeks while the main work has been done today. So yeah, all the sides are nicely trimmed and all the top section is leveled as well. So that was a major job for today. Apart from the little bit of harvesting, that's all I did so far. I also noticed I'm gonna have some more harvest to do. I think the black currants are definitely ready for picking. So that's going to be my next job. I didn't get that much of a green waste from the hedge. It's only those bits and pieces all along the hedge. I might leave it as a mulching, going all the way down to the bottom veggie area. So yeah, after this quick harvesting of cucumbers and beans and trimming all the hedges, all I need to do is look for some more harvest. So let's have a look. Well, before we do any harvesting really, I need to weed this garden. It looks horrible and I can't see anything. The weeds have been growing like crazy these last few weeks and I didn't have enough time to do my usual weekly weeding. So before I do anything else, let me try and sort out this sorry state. As you can probably see from that shot over there, I allowed my garden to get out of hand completely. Simply wasn't enough time for me to tend to it in recent weeks. But hopefully I can sort it all out today. If not today, maybe tomorrow. Thanks God, most of them are annual weeds as far as I can see. There's not much nasty perennial stuff, but yeah, it just goes to show you how important it is to spend at least some time every few days in your garden. The weeds always grow much faster than all our veggies. I'm using my hori knife. It would be much quicker just to do hoeing, but there's too many plants growing, so I can't use the hoe really to get rid of all the stuff. So hand weeding is gonna be. I think it's gonna take me a while to sort out this garden. I'm gonna set up a time-lapse. Probably it's gonna be a separate video. I'm gonna put a link to that video somewhere here. It's gonna be a time-lapse of sorting out this garden. It's a job and a half now. If I had enough time, I could maintain it weekly. That wouldn't be a big job then, but we can only do what we can do. So let me continue the weeding. It might take a while, and I'll see you back here when I'm done. Well, I think that section looks much better than it was before. Very fiddly and time-consuming job. But I think I managed to weed all the strawberries now. I also noticed that some of my cabbages started to split. So there's gonna be a cabbage harvest video coming soon. So at least quarter of the garden is weeded. It's mostly the strawberries, and I started on the asparagus bed as well. I think that video is getting too long already, so I decided I'm gonna split it into two parts. So day one is finished. I hope you're gonna join me for part two, probably tomorrow or day after. We'll see how it goes with the filming. But yeah, the weeding of part of the main veggie area is done. Some harvesting is done. There's much more to harvest as well. When I was weeding, I've noticed some of the white cabbage needs to be picked as well. They started splitting. They're going way too quick for their own good. But that's gonna be for tomorrow video probably. And also the black currants and red currants is ready to pick as well. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.